Doctors, we are very interested in your various childhood experiences. Dr. Williams, you were born in Pittsburgh,
Pennsylvania.
What were your experiences there, and how did they differ maybe from the experiences of the South, or did they differ at all?
I would imagine that they did vary somewhat, because during the time that I was a youngster growing up in Pittsburgh, there was no such thing as legal segregation. You simply went to school in the district in which you lived, so that those students who attended the individual school were black, white, based on where they lived. The public accommodations were not segregated by law, although in a city like Pittsburgh there were places which blacks did not go. The downtown athletic club, Child's restaurant down in Midtown, blacks knew that they were not welcome and they simply didn't go. But in terms of there being signs saying colored white, they did not exist.
Dr. Coleman Williams, I would imagine your experiences were a bit different, being reared in Louisville, Kentucky.
Quite a contrast. I was born in Louisville, but my father, being an African Methodist Episcopal minister, I lived all over Kentucky and Tennessee. And as you know, both of those states fell under the laws of segregation. So when I grew up, I went to segregated schools. In some of the cities in which I lived, the transportation was segregated. For example, in Covington, Kentucky, which is right across the river from Cincinnati, you rode wherever you wished on the streetcars. In those days, the streetcars. When I moved to Nashville, however, it was entirely different. When I lived in Covington, Kentucky, I could go to the public library with everybody else. When I moved to Nashville, I went to a segregated library. And of course, the signs were everywhere throughout the South, as you perhaps have read, and I'm glad you don't know.